Here we are, good boys to your vision, at a special time today, because I wanted to play with Marion Gellatly today. We are here to talk about showing up, powerful presence, how it feels to be the face, the voice, the presence, the persona of our brand. And I am so excited to be here with you at a special time today with Marion, who is a colleague, a client, a mentor, an amazing image strategist, and whose work is transforming people from the inside out to show up and fully embrace who they are and create and craft their own style. Welcome, Marion. I didn't read your bio at all. That was just from my heart. Her bio is in the post. If you guys want to know how fancy she is, please read that. Welcome. When you join us, if you're here live, let us know. We're streaming in 3 different places, so post in those comments. We'll come back and make sure that any questions you have about image and style and what that impact can make. We're going to go pretty deep here. You may not realize the power and potency of image strategy, and Marion has opened my eyes to that and helped so many others. So welcome, my dear friend.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful to be here with you, and I'm honored to be your guest today.
So yay, we love having you.
I would like to say, Michelle, just, that I like to inspire women to take their style and their wardrobe from ho-hum to fabulous so they can be themselves on purpose.
Yeah, I love that. I just got goosebumps.
It's so important to be themselves on purpose. It's not just about clothing your body. It's thinking about the strategy.
I love it. And I'll share that one of the things that I did a lot early on was like, it was vulnerable for me to think intentionally about how I looked. Like I just wanted to kind of get by or blend in, but like putting conscious attention onto how am I going to look? I judged it. I was like, that's superficial. And it was really honestly later as I got older, I realized and had the benefit of working with you and other strategists that I was holding back, right? Like I was playing intentional about what felt good. I didn't know that style could feel good. I had some judgments there about like, it's all going to be uncomfortable or weird or not me. I felt like if I was being intentional, then it would be not me. And what I learned with you and from you, and I want to talk about this today, is how it is actually being more you, right? Allowing your real essence, your highest essence, your brand self. And that's what I do with people in messaging. So I'm so excited that you're here. Here's my first question. We've all been sitting in our houses for over a year, and now we have to like put on grown-up clothes and actually go out into the world. It's happening. What are you seeing in a hearing with your clients, working with your clients? I would love for us to just, what do we do? What do we do when we have to put on our big girl clothes again? I know it's been weird for me to think about, okay, travel and being on stages again. So I want to hear what you're hearing from clients and seeing just to some of the challenges that we may be having around that. I think it's easy to think we're the only ones. So I'd love to hear what you're seeing the challenges around that are, and then maybe some, ideas and strategies for how we can have some fun as we reemerge. What are you seeing?
Well, certainly I'm seeing exactly as what you've just indicated, that people are saying, I've spent this 14 months being quiet and in my home, and I've been cozy in my sweats, and everything has been fabulous. But now, right, I've got to get back out there. And oh, by the way, I don't think those pants fit me so well anymore.
It's a little bit tight. It's okay. Yeah.
That's fine. We're all there. I know I gained some weight. I'm trying to get it off. So let's not beat ourselves up about it, because it is time to reemerge. It is time to freshen up. It's a wonderful opportunity to look at yourself, look at what's in that closet and say, is this really feeling like who I am right now? and where I want to go for the rest of 2021 and what I need to do for the rest of 2021. And there are just really simple things that you can do to kind of freshen up your look. And that's what I'm telling women today. It's not like you have to go out and buy a new wardrobe. The fact of the matter is that I don't think we're going to go back to where we were in 2019. I think we've accepted Zoom. We've accepted being pro. We've accepted the comfort of that, the efficiency of that. So that's going to stay. So how can you really maximize how you show up on screen? That's one thing I think
good.
Really important. But second of all, if you are going to get back up on stage, is there anything you can do with the clothes that are in your closet right at the moment, and just by making a slight shift? So one of the things that I'm getting ready to start a new program next week called Style Shift.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
And one of the things that it's the third time I've taught the class, and when I put myself through the first class as a student and a teacher, one of the things I said to myself is, I am just feeling like I want to have a little sparkle and shine in my life, because I don't feel like, there's much sparkle and shine out there. Now, this was several months ago. And so what was one of the things that I did? First of all, I identified what I was yearning for. But second of all, I went out and bought these great earrings that are sparkling today too. Now that makes me happy. So I have on a shirt that I've had for quite some time. I put on a scarf, which brings light up to my face and brings the attention. And there's also a little gold lyrics thread in it.
Nice.
I have my sparkly and shine. Really simple things that can make me feel better. And I want you to be all thinking about what can you do for yourself that will make you feel better and freshen up the look.
So exciting. It's one of the things I realized. We were like Zoom, and it's like pretty easy to get away with a nice t-shirt and hanging out in my jeans or my yoga pants. And I started putting these on. I remembered that we found these when you were helping style me for my live event back in 2019. I found these earrings and shared them, and they coordinated with everything that you helped me put together. And it makes a difference. And it makes me, I talk a lot too, Marion, let's talk a little bit about how your image is part of your brand. What I say is this, a lot of times since I'm helping people, as like really give voice and be the face and the voice of their message, their transformational message. And a lot of times we have to craft or step into this fuller expression of our message through a public persona. So I'm not talking to my kids the same way that I'm talking to guests on my show, right? And stepping into that public persona. And part of that is having my sparkly earrings on when I'm interviewing a guest. And so talk about the power of that. I mean, obviously, I'm realizing today I'm kind of bringing my own story to my journey around image, which was a lot of holding back. Like that's my whole story. I'm always holding back. How can I stop that, right? And so embracing my personal style, but also like my professional style, right? And there's let's play with like how does image and how you show up as your brand specifically differ from how we're showing up in other ways?
Well, I think they are really intertwined. I don't think you can segregate them, or I don't want you to segregate them.
I love that.
Because I want you to be who you are, whether it's in your professional life or whether it's in your personal life. Now, the clothes may change a little bit, but the messaging that the clothes happen to be sending should be consistent. I always say that clothes have personalities. You do too. So let's make sure that they're talking the same language. So your personality and the clothes personalities are speaking. And we know ourselves, don't we? You know who you are. I know who I am. And we assume that everybody gets who we are when they meet us for the first time. And the fact of the matter is they don't. And they do make really important decisions about what they're seeing. because it's the very first thing that people, unfortunately, make judgments about.
Yeah.
So it's, what do they see? And that includes, you know, your clothing and your body language and your grooming. 55% of your first impression is from what people see. 38% is what they hear. 7% is what they hear you say or what you say. And so it's a big number. It's a powerful number.
Yeah.
And you just want to make sure that whoever you are inside, and that's what I want everyone to really think about and maybe journal on and come forward with, that is what needs to be expressed and manifested to the outside as well. So, you know, for me, I would say I like to use words to help women describe their styles. And I'll say to them, can you describe to me what you want to represent about yourself in your clothing? And they'll usually look at me like with a blank stare and go, oh,
Totally.
about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, then how can you possibly get dressed and have a strategic message if you haven't really given that any thought? So who are you now? Maybe what has changed in the last 18 months? What's important to you now? What do you want to express about what's going on with you now, as well as what's going on in your business? And then just make sure that this wardrobe that you have, that you've spent a lot of money on, maybe not very effectively, but you've spent money on, let's make sure it's really conveying what you want to convey. So I think it's really powerful to think about this as a strategic business tool, not as fluff or just fun or
superficial. Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the deeper, I know one of the things that you help me to do so beautifully is trust myself and having understanding, you know, why that looks good or why that feels good, and that it is like that's a important factor, instead of this feeling like I just don't think about that, I don't know about that. So you ask me the question of like, what do I want my image or my style to reflect? And I can, you know, talk about like who I am and what I do and what I am here to share and what I want to be. But I don't really know, it's not my jam, right? To know like, well, what's even possible in what style and image how that can support me in feeling confident and sharing my message. Are there like, I'm putting you on the spot. Are there like, how would you even describe that? Like, could you give us some examples of how, I mean, and you're welcome to use anything that I'm wearing, like how our image or what we're wearing or our style can actually reflect those core things, because it's just not something that we think about. And I feel also, I want to say that we don't have to know how. That's why I love working with you, right? Like if I can say who I am and what I want to be, this is part of the magic of your genius to help us see how that can blend. Can we talk in like broad strokes, just a little bit about, you know, examples of how owning who we are and how we want to show up could be reflected in our image or our style?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to just start with what I see right here on camera, and that is two women that happen to be in color. Color definitely expresses something about the individual that's wearing it, whether it's black or whether it is your cobalt blue or whether it's the coral. People react to color. And so if you are a happy, outgoing person, which you are, and if I were to put you in dark brown or I were to put you in black, the message would not be the same as when you show up on camera in that beautiful cobalt blue. Yeah. So color is one way you definitely can express. When we go into the stores, by the way, our attention is usually captured by the color, you know, the visual merchandising that's going on in the store. And we're drawn to things that we can relate to. So use color effectively to express, again, your personality, but also express the brand of your company. I always like to say, you know, if you've got a favorite color, then think about how you can use that favorite color in your branding for your company. The other thing I think is really important, and you brought it up earlier, is how can you be comfortable in your clothes so you don't have to think about it? And I think that's really important so that we can get dressed in the morning. We can go out, we can do whatever we have to do business wise or socially. And we don't have to think about it until we get back home and we take the clothes off.
Yeah.
And that comes really understanding what works for the body that you've been given.
Oh, it's so good. I have to jump in on that because that was when I wish that I had done this in my 20s or my 30s. I really do wish that I had worked with somebody the first time, and it was before I knew you, but the first time I worked with a stylist was way past due. And what I really wanted was exactly what you're saying, is that I wanted to just not have to think about it. I wasn't somebody who wanted like a bunch of fancy clothes, or I just wanted like the colors that worked, the shapes that worked, and the things that felt good to wear. Like I like the way these sleeves feel, right?
Yes.
And I like the V neck, but I didn't know that. that wasn't my gift. And so being able to not have stress around standing, this is what we you always say, right? Like you open the closet and stand and stare and wonder what to wear, right? And that is so stressful. And if I'm just putting on things like, oh, I'll just wear this, or it's just fine enough, that energy impacts all of our marketing, our messaging, our relationships all day long. So thank you for mentioning that and pointing that out. Like if you don't feel great in your clothes, that is making a difference. And there's all kinds of, inner game work with this whole thing called humanity, being a human in the world, but especially when we're growing a business, when we're being a leader, when we're a thought leader or a visionary, or giving voice to a bigger vision message, growing that company, being the CEO, then, how we're draining our energy if we don't feel good, or even like extra good, right? Like put on your power clothes, your power colors, using the cloth and the clothing that we're inhabiting as tools of expansion and permission. And you really opened that up for me. So I don't want to skip over the part about how draining and undermining it can be if, we're thinking, and now don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of days where I'm like, well, that stains below camera level, so I'm going to wear this t-shirt because I love it and it feels good. But having an understanding of the power of like, I have my 5 things hanging in my office closet here. And like, when it's time to hop on camera, boom, I can just pick my favorite color of the moment and hop on and feel good. And what an empowering, confidence boosting a tool it is.
Well, we're very fortunate with Zoom that we can do that. But now that we're getting back out, now the stress level is starting to build for women again, because they're not behind the camera, and it's not just from the bust down.
Right.
Now the full length. So the stress is coming up, and people are saying to me, oh my goodness, what is that going to look like for me? I don't want to go back and do what I was doing, but how do I do me? How do I freshen up me? How do I represent the brand of my company and do it in a way that is 2021? And
who are we now?
Really good questions to ask yourself.
Yeah.
And, I just want to go back and talk a little bit about whether you call them ruts or whether you call them gremlins, but there is this self-talk that goes on up here for a lot of us. And maybe at one time in your life, maybe not so much now, but maybe now. And the thing
it comes and goes, right? It's in waves.
It does go in waves, but it usually started back at a pretty young age. That it was either something that mom said or mom didn't say. Okay. Or I tell the story sometimes. My mom never would say to me, oh, Marion, you're pretty, or oh, Marion, you're beautiful. What she would say to me is, oh, by the way, my friend Sue wanted me to tell you she thinks you're beautiful. And it was like, well, Mom, can't you say that? I was never smart enough to ask her that question. But, those are kinds of things. I mean, here I am at my age now, and I still remember that. So I think that had an effect on, how I saw myself for a long period of time, until finally I said, well, wait a second. I'm going to stand up because I do want to show up as in my own beauty. And the thing is, we're all different in our beauty. So how I'm beautiful is different than you're beautiful. And part of it's personality, part of it is the visual, but it doesn't have to be all about the visual. It's really a combination of just bringing that lively personality or that serious personality out into the forefront. I was talking to a woman yesterday who is a minister who does a lot of weddings. And we were just talking about her quiet essence and her subdued quietness, but her sincerity. And, you know, you can just tell she's a beautiful person at heart. And so how we're going to manifest that and bring that forward is going to be different than I would do for myself or that I would do for you, Michelle.
Yeah.
When I work with a client, I have to take all of these pieces of the puzzle into account to really get them to a style or to a wardrobe or to things in the wardrobe that will work for, you know, that will solve the gremlins that are going on in the head.
So powerful.
Yeah.
What I want to do, just another shout out, is that when you the way that you're able to like take what we have and reconfigure or tell me, I think one thing you said is you need this kind of boot is going to tie all that together, or, you know, those little things are just, you know, not in my genius. But it can change the way we feel from the inside out so quickly. A couple of things about this, the messages. I realized as you were sharing, I was like, well, what are my messages? And I was kind of always told that I was like the golden child by the adults around me. But I had really painful and intense experiences of being taken down by my peers in adolescence. And so for me to be confident, I went from confident cheerleader, blah, 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 to outcast. And I think that made a huge impact on I think I really started to hide at that point in a new way. I've always struggled with that hiding thing. But I think that it began my years of Black. Like Black was the color I felt safe in. And now I'm understanding in a new level of why, right? I moved to New York City with $200 in my pocket and a dream, right? And I had my black leather jacket. And I'm not a black leather jacket kind of girl, but I was trying to be. I needed that armor. And so to think about those stories and then have some tools and some permission and some support to shift and become more aligned, which is what I've been harping on over here with our marketing and our message. So powerful, so powerful. You have a gift for us. I want to share this 10 style commitments. Tell me about this. What is this gonna? Yeah, beautiful. I'm gonna post a link. This is a free gift. Marion is amazing. You probably already have value or insights or tools. If you're watching live, please share what your takeaways are. That'll help more people to find this training and conversation and give some thought. I think it's a radical act of self-esteem to invest in ourselves, to feel fully empowered and alive. And you have a gift to help us do that. So what's involved in that? What are we going to get when we sign up for that? While I post the link, can you tell me?
Well, you're just going to get some reminders of 10 things that you can commit to yourself, that you can say on a daily basis, or you can say one a day, but to remind yourself that if you really focus on each of these 10 things, along with my little, tips as to why, I think it will help clear some of those things that may be holding you back a little bit. It's very simple, but it's also, I think, a very powerful tool. And it's something that I even go back myself and say, okay, let me go through, and I'm not going to tell you, of course, what they are, because I want
You could tell us one.
Well, I think one of the really important things I say here in my commitment is I will clean up my self-talk.
Oh, nice.
I will crush the urge to criticize my tummy, my butt, my breasts, whatever the case may be. And I am going to plan to practice saying nice things to myself every single day.
So good.
So simple, but I think really powerful. The other thing I am getting ready to do, may I just say a little bit about
Yeah,
style?
please, because shift is the word of the era. We are in shift right now. We are shifting in so many ways. And the folks here in this transformation space, we are about transformation. And you have an opportunity for us to really work with you and make a really powerful shift. Before you do, I had one more thing about what you said a few minutes ago. And that is that when I feel good, and I am more aligned, our physical beauty actually changes. I've seen people do this work and blossom, and so that even they actually think they look better, not just because of the colors and the things. Those are all tools, but through valuing themselves and investing in this support and having this collaboration for people to may say, hey, yeah, that does really emphasize this. Understanding why certain things look better, that it does. When we feel different, we are different. And when we feel more beautiful and confident, we look more beautiful and confident. It literally changes the muscles in our face. So this is powerful work. Now you may say, how can we do this with you?
I just don't need to say a thing because it's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think what this says to everybody is that, you are somebody that not only is a believer, but you've experienced it personally yourself. So there is nothing like a client saying that. And I don't even have to speak. But what I do want to say is Style Shift is starting next Tuesday on the 1st of June. And it is a live experiential program. It is going to be on Zoom. So when I say live, I mean on Zoom, not video. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be exploring a lot of the things that Michelle and I have already spoken about. What are your ruts? What are the negative messages that you tell yourself? Where are you in your life right now? What's important to you? How would you describe who you are? What do you want people to know about you in the first 5 minutes of meeting? What do you think they know about you in the first 5 minutes? So we get into all these questions of exploration, and what comes out of it is not only that, but then the ways that you can manifest where you really want to go and where that desire is, and maybe you just don't know how to get there. So my role is to guide you to get where you want to go. And again, it's a very small class. We keep it small so that we can experience one another.
Intimate.
Learn from one another. So
and with that discovery, we also learn from you, through you, with you, the elements that are external that can help us to step into that more fully.
Absolutely. You're definitely going to get the tools. You're going to definitely get the coaching on why something works for you or why it's not going to work for you.
Game changer, kids. Game changer. Game changer. Understanding like the length of this or the thing of this. And I'll be like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Understanding why this felt good and why that didn't. Game changer. Stress alleviator, sales confidence, visibility confidence, human confidence. So powerful. And so this starts Tuesday, Style Shift. They can messenger you if they're here on Facebook. They can get your gift, which is going to help them find your email and know how to reach out to you further. If you guys have comments or you can't figure out how to get to Marion, just private message me, post here. We'll get you connected. And go ahead and get the 10 commitments, my 10 style commitments. We use some similar, I call them clearing statements around selling and inspired visibility and the 10 pillars of inspired visibility. These kinds of tools are really powerful. But I got to say, Marion, I'm on a little bit of a rant here in my world, and I'm gonna jump in on this. This is a time where we need to invest in ourselves, our message, our business, our mission. And we need to not do what I have now called the freebie mentoring plan. The freebie mentoring plan. There is a deluge of free, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So pick your lane and decide what you're going to invest in yourself with first, and make the investment in your confidence, in your business, in your message, whatever it is that you need to move forward. This is a time for us to absolutely get the free stuff, but don't let it just be another thing that sits in your file folder or on your desk. We must connect, collaborate, we must have support, and we must invest in our own transformation for the greatest good of all, including ourselves. So I want to just say, if this is speaking to you, if you're feeling like, oh crap, I got to go back out in the world, and I know it's time for me to have a little freshen up, I need a couple of new things. And you have any part of this holding back or uncertainty, or I don't want to think about it, stuff around your image and how you're showing up, working with Marion is going to be an accelerator for not only your image strategy, but your confidence, your business, your momentum. Really.
Hallelujah.
So
Hallelujah.
yeah, grab the the 10 commitments, and if you do nothing else, use them. Pick
Use
your
them.
favorite 1, 2, 3 and use them. Say them out loud with your voice. If you want to get really edgy, say them in the mirror, looking into your own eyes, and transform, because the world needs us all to step forward and stop holding back. Yeah. And I love you and adore you. Thank you so much for being here. Are there any final words of wisdom that you would like to jump on my ranting train and leave people with for today?
I think all I want to say is there's no reason to be embarrassed if you don't think you have style. There's no reason to worry about judgment, because there is no judgment. So somebody that just struggles with this, and you really worry about the confidence level around your style or your wardrobe, Style Shift is actually the place for you to be, because it is a very supportive group of community women that are on the same path as you.
So good. And the power of being in a transformational process, this is, as you know, this is what I do as well, of being in a transformational process where everyone is in to expand, to heal, to get bigger, to own something more. And you see the other people going through and being vulnerable and sharing and evolving is, I mean, I call my methodology transformative witnessing. There's just such power in how we can hold in a container and expanding together with witnessing, especially when it comes to how we look, how we sound, right? And I know the space that you hold for people is really easy, and you have this elegance, and the space and the way you're able to really meet people where they are is very powerful and unique. So go play with Marion if this is a thing for you, and accelerate everything in your life. And don't hesitate, don't forget to implement the tools that she's sharing with you in the 10 style commitments. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much. As
love
always,
you. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Love you. Love your work. And we're hopping off for today. This was our Give Voice to Your Vision, where we stop the spinning wheel and we get real, so it is clarity you feel. Today with my lovely friend and colleague, Marion. And she's got some gifts for you, so go ahead and take advantage of those. And if you are inspired or have questions, reach out to either one of us and we'll make sure they get answered. And jump in and play. Let's shift into expansion, service, impact, confident, easy abundance in the world today. All right, love you.
Bye-bye.